Hi guys, I welcome all of you to today's session. Today we will be discussing about the most easiest topic, but unfortunately the most carelessly handled point, both in as speaking as well as for writing. So let's see what is today's topic. Today we will be discussing about cohesive devices or discourse markers, which is also known as linking words or linking phrases. This is actually applicable for both speaking as well as for writing. So you need to concentrate on this topic very much. It is having equal weightage for speaking as well as for writing. So what is cohesive device? Cohesive device. Cohesive devices tell the reader what we are doing in a sentence and help to guide them through our writing. They signal to the reader what the relationship are between the different clauses, sentences, and paragraphs. So, cohesive device or linking phrases are devices which help the reader to understand what the writer uh, was about to tell them. Okay, so it is actually a medium through which we connect the reader as well as the writer. Okay, so for example, if you write in contrast, it is understood to the reader that you are giving a opposite point. If you write to begin with, then it is naturally it is understood to the uh, reader that you are going to begin a particular paragraph or a sentence. So these are some of the examples of cohesive devices. We will see each one by one. You need to remember certain points while you deal with cohesive devices. Actually, it is an area where you can make mistakes uh, unknowingly, so you need to concentrate on this topic. One problem that people might face while they use cohesive device is the overusage of cohesive device. Why this happens? Why they usually overuse cohesive devices? It is the biggest mistakes many students make is to use the cohesive devices nearly every sentence. Some people study different type of linking phrases as well as linking words from different websites, and they are so adamant that they need to use each and everything in that they have learned in the essay, in a small essay. So that makes, that leads to this problem, that is overusage of cohesive devices. If you look at the Ielts writing marking criteria, it says that a band 7, a candidate with band 7, uses a range of cohesive devices appropriately, although there may be some under or overuse. Even though you use a little bit more or a little bit less, no problem. But if you need band 7, you need to use a range of cohesive devices. That doesn't matter, you need to use too much. You need to use it appropriately, if I say. This is typical of a student who knows the meaning and how to use coffee devices, but thinks that using them as much as possible will get them a higher mark. The people who overuse coffee devices have a thought in their mind like, as much as I use, I will get more and more marks. It is a wrong idea actually. If you have used only few cohesive device or also it is not a problem, but if you have used it appropriately, it is the correct usage. Okay, if you haven't used it appropriately and you are having over a lot of cohesive devices which is placed inappropriately, that will definitely harm your mark. Okay, so another problem is most of them doesn't understand the meaning as well as the grammar of different course devices, and they are just using these kind of words for the sake of adding course device. Okay, so the next problem students have is learning long list of course devices and not learning the meaning of each word and how it should be used in a sentence. Okay, so if it is better that you use no word than using an incorrect word in your essay as well as for your speaking. Okay, you need to learn, when you learn a causal device, you need to learn the words you need. You need to learn exactly what it means. You also need to learn when it should be used. So this really matters, and very very important, how it should be used. You need to learn the meaning, you need to learn when it should be used and how you can use it. Okay, so today we will have some list of linking words one by one. There are different kind of instances where you can use different kind of linking words or causal device or discourse markers. Let's see one by one. The first thing, if you want to give a sequence in your essay, okay, you want to organize your answer in as a flow chart, like I mean, ഒരു ഓർഡറിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറയണം, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അത് കൺവേ ചെയ്യണം എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, അതായത് ഒന്നൊന്നിനോട് റിലേറ്റഡ് ആണ്, സോ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഓർഡറിൽ സീക്വൻസിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പറയണം എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you can use these kind of causal devices. For example, firstly, first of all, first, to initiate with, first of all, in the first place, to begin with. The first reason is, or the first factor is, next, afterwards, after this, after that, later, and finally. So these are some of the causal devices which help you to bring sequence to whatever you write or whatever you speak also. So if you want to bring that order while you write, you need to have these kind of words in your essay. So for example, if the question is about the most I mean, the conventional source of energy, if the question is like that, and your first point is about solar energy, you can write, first of all, the most renewable source of energy is solar energy, or you can say, no, it is not renewable. You can say, if the question is about traffic jams, okay, if the question is about traffic jam, and your first point is, the occurrence of too many cars is the main reason for traffic jam, and that is your point, and you need to explain it as the first point. So you can write it as firstly, or first of all, or to initiate with, or to begin with, um, or you can say the first reason is the occurrence of too many cars, which can finally lead to traffic jam, or you can say one of the reason is, or you can say the main cause behind traffic jam is. Such kind of words can be used to initiate your paragraphs as well as to sequence your answer. You can use firstly, secondly, thirdly, and finally, such kind of words. Okay, so in order to show the order. Next, if you want to give effect of something or consequence of something, especially this comes effect and solution, such kind of essays. Okay, so if you want to denote the effect of something as a result of pollution, lots of health problems occur. How you can say? You can connect both of these, that is air pollution and health problems, using these kind of words like hence, thus, therefore, so, as a result, on this account, and on that account, eventually, consequently, as a consequence. So these are the words which shows the effect. For example, if, as I said, if you want to connect due to air pollution, something happens, so you can say air pollution is at the high air pollution is at high alarming rate. As a result, these days a lot of people are affected with different kind of health problems. Or you can use, on this account there are many people who are affected with health problems. Okay, or you can say air pollution creates a lot of I mean, air pollution is at the higher rate or at its peak these days. Consequently, health problems arises, and they are also at an alarming rate. Okay, so you can use this kind of words in order to indicate effect of any particular trend or development or anything. Okay, so if you want to add another point, if you want to add in a paragraph or at a sentence level, you can use these kind of words also. And in addition to add, moreover, furthermore, likewise, similarly, as well as not only but also, besides this. So these are the words which help you to add one more point, similar point. If you want to add similar point to a paragraph or to a sentence level, you can use these kind of words. Like for example, you have the different points for the question, what are the reasons for traffic jam? Your first reason is too many cars, so you write it has to begin with the main reason behind traffic jam is the occurrence of too many vehicles. Okay, so that is our first paragraph, and you need to add another point to the same paragraph. So you can use in addition or also or furthermore, such kind of words to that, and just say the infrastructure of the roads also are also a very important reason behind traffic jams of these days. Okay, so like that you can add different kind of similar points to an essay or to your speaking using these kind of words. Okay, if you want to refer something, or if you want to give an example, you can use these kind of words. I think these are very similar, I mean familiar to you. That is, for example, particularly, for instance, to illustrate, a good case in point, or a case in point, in particular, to exemplify. The the list I'm giving contain formal usages, so you can just copy it down. This will really help you to while you write as well as while you speak. If you have this list with you, you can learn by looking at it and speaking, so that it will help you to develop your linking phrases as that further develops what cohesion as well as coherence to your answer. So that is really important both in speaking as well as writing. So kindly write it down. I know that most of you know these kind of costly devices. These are very simple, but it has its own importance. If you don't know, kindly write it down and learn. If you want to show the similarity, as well as if you want to equate something, uh, two different points. Especially this happens when it comes to task one. When we have a graph with us, we usually use this we use these kind of linking phrases in for showing the similarity. For example, in the same way, accordingly, likewise, equally important, similarly. Okay, if for example, America is showing high I mean it is having it is having an increase in its population rate, whereas India is also showing a increasing trend. Like it is also increasing day by day. So we can say um, America is at the I mean is showing a dramatic increase over the period. Similarly, India also shows the similar pattern. Okay, so we are showing the similarity, or we are equating two points, two similar points. Okay. So if you want to give contrast in the sense, if you need to explain any opposite ideas, you can use different words like however, on the other hand, rather, on the contrary, but, conversely. So these are the words which help you to describe the opposite points. Okay, so however, on the other hand, rather, on the contrary, but, conversely, these kind of words. However, but, these kind of things doesn't we will not use at the beginning of the paragraph, whereas we will use on the other hand as well as on the contrary, converse, in contrast, such kind of words at the beginning of the paragraph. We will not use however, but rather such kind of things at the beginning of a paragraph. If you want to reformulate that, in the sense, if you want to give it more clear explanation, you can say, in other words, in simple terms, to be precise, to be clear. Such kind of words can be used to reformulate your sentence. If you have said something in your topic sentence, that is the first paragraph, I mean first sentence in your paragraph, and it is quite a bit confusing and you need to explain it further, you can use in other words. For example, in our topic sentence, or the first, as the first paragraph, first sentence of the paragraph, we are saying that there are two the main reason behind traffic jam is the occurrence of many vehicles. So actually it is not clear how these cars create traffic jam, right? So we are giving a more bit amount of explanation. In simple terms, we can say that as there are many vehicles these days, it doesn't match with the capacity of the city, and further it will develop into I mean, it cannot hold the number of vehicles, and thus it will create what, traffic jam. So we are giving more explanation after the topic sentence. So we are just again reiterating our points or our ideas more clearly. Showing certainty. If you want to show that you're certain about your answer, for example, especially for speaking, it will happen for speaking. If you want to show that you're very damn sure about this particular idea, okay, you are saying, yes, of course, I think uh, these days people doesn't respect each other. It is obvious that people are not giving care for each other. So നമുക്ക് ഉറപ്പുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ, വളരെ ഉറപ്പുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമുക്ക് ആ certainty show ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് we will use these kind of words like of course, obviously, undoubtedly, certainly, unquestionably, beyond the question, irrefutably. So everything shows certainty. Okay, so you can use any of these words, especially obviously, undoubtedly, certainly, unquestionably, irrefutably, beyond question. These will be used in writing, but of course, I mean, of course, we won't use in writing, but everything we can use in speaking, but of course, we cannot use in writing. That's it. If you want to give condition, okay, if something has to happen, especially in our conclusion, we used to give comments on something, right? For example, if the traffic jam or if the road accidents should be controlled, the government should establish very strict rules. Okay, so only if the government establish good rules or strict rules, it can contain or it can limit what, road traffic accidents. So what we can use as to give condition, if we can use, unless we can use, whether we can use, so that, as well as provided that, also you can use for. So in order to give conclusion, condition, mainly we use if. Okay, so if is mainly used as in order to give condition in your essays, depending on also will be used. Okay, so if you want to give reason of something, this really mainly, I mean, both in speaking as well as for writing, it is useful. Reason is actually for every essay we need to write reason. So it is not just since, as, or we don't. Some people have the habit like they only have because. There are other words for other than because. We can see one by one: due to, owing to, the reason why, cause, leads to, as, so, since, in other words. So these are the different kind of words which you can use in order to show the reason of something. Okay, so what is the reason if they are asking for something? Okay, so you can give these kind of words to connect your reason to the topic sentence. Okay, so if you want to give the summary, especially for conclusion, what you can write? You can write to conclude, in conclusion, in summary, to summarize. So these are the standard words. Some I have seen certain people writing, put it in a nutshell, such kind of, or to wrap up, such kind of informal usages are not accepted in IELTS writing, and you cannot use such kind of words. You can use these kind of standard usages, even though they are common. Don't think that as they are common we cannot use it. These are common, but the most standard ones. You can use any of these to give your start your conclusion. Okay, to conclude, in conclusion, in summary, to summarize and all. If you want to express, if you want to express the time, okay, so that, yeah, you can use when, whenever, since, before, after, until, meanwhile, while, as soon as, just as. So these are different kind of words which shows the time. Especially this is applicable for task one graph. Such kind of things, you have change graph, like years are mentioned, time are mentioned. So such kind of, at that instance you can use these kind of words. uh, we will be discussing the usages shortly for sentences, so don't worry. Just understand these are used for expressing time. If you want to give definition of something, especially in your introduction, if you want to define something, you can use means, consist of, that is, uh, these kind of words to describe or give definition of some terms. It also, I mean, refers to. These can be used. So if you have any queries, kindly ask me. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.